Welcome back to Long Way Home, everyone. I know the desk is a mess at the moment, but we're in the middle of shooting a review for the new JBL Pack Talk Bold, and I had to pause that to share this great Africa Twin news with you. But since we're here, let me know if there's anything you want to know about Carda's latest and greatest Bluetooth intercom system. Now, I'm coming from the Senna 20S. It's a Bluetooth intercom system that I've had for about 3 years, and I'm quite familiar with it. So let me know in the comments if there's anything specific about the Pack Talk that you are curious about. But let's get on to Honda news now. You didn't ask for it, and now you have it. You wanted it lighter and more maneuverable, and now it's bigger. All jokes apart, dubbed Honda's worst kept secret in motorcycling, the new 1100 Africa Twin is now somewhat confirmed. We first spoke about this in February. Moving on. In a world where bigger is better, it seems that Honda may debut. Why do you put such difficult words on there, Dave? Use smaller ones, man. Debut a bigger version of the Africa Twin for 2020. My, how times have changed. Dave has actually learned to use smaller words now. Cycle World and other publications have shared a lot of new details on Honda's upcoming Africa Twin. Here's what we know so far. Get your motorbike news in a pleasant way. Hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next episode. Firstly, it will be called the CRF1100L. The current 2019 model is the CRF1000L, and given the bump in engine size, this is to be expected. Speaking of bumps, you get an extra 86 cc's added to the engine, bringing it up to 1084 cc's. It's still too early to have power figures hammered down, since manufacturers pretty much only do that after actually announcing the bike, but current estimations put the power figures at 101 horsepower, which is a modest 7 horsepower increase. Its internal name within Honda will be the SD09, while the existing model is the SD06. Well, that little piece of info wasn't useful for absolutely anyone. Why do you put such boring stuff on there, Dave? Find more fun stuff, man. Obviously, the main reason for the Africa Twin update is the new Euro 5 emission regulations that are coming into effect next year and during 2021. Apart from changes made to the engine, there are usually changes made to the exhaust system as well. And Honda has definitely played around at least with the catalytic converter, since the bike is now 3 decibels quieter. Now, I know 3 decibels doesn't sound like a huge difference, but it is, since sound volume isn't on a linear scale. Here's a little test of a 3 decibel difference in volume. See if you can find a difference. Everything for a more peaceful and enjoyable ride. Apart from the larger engine, another quite big difference is the larger fuel tank. All versions of the bike will now get a larger 6.4 gallon tank, which is currently only available on the Adventure Sports version. So more weight for everyone, but at least this is controllable weight. If you know you're doing a short off-road ride, just don't fill the tank. It's that easy. I think this is a good move by Honda, since the benefits for longer rides outweigh the drawbacks of shorter off-road rides. Speaking of off-road rides, you will be doing a little less of that, since the new fatter bikes will now obviously weigh more. Obviously. The new model lineup will be the same as the current lineup, a base model and an Adventure Sports model. Obviously, since the fuel tank is the same size on both, it will be quite a bit more difficult to tell them apart when you see them on the road. The base model will come in at 524 pounds, while the Adventure Sports will weigh a respectable 529 pounds. And if you want a DCT gearbox on any of the models, you also get 22 more pounds of weight to accompany you everywhere you go. Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't get sad, there is good news after all, and we'll get to that in a minute. No changes announced to the chassis or to the suspension, however, both models will be about an inch wider, and most cosmetic changes will be concentrated at the front of the bike, with more aggressive lights and a reshaped nose. So, in the end, Honda has taken the Africa Twin closer to the big adventure bike segment and further away from the mid-size adventure segment, which has gained a lot of interest lately. But it's still not a big adventure bike, since the 101 horsepower it will put out is nowhere close to the 136 horsepower of the 1250 GS or the mad 160 horsepower of KTM's 1290 Super Adventure. However, the clever thing that Honda has managed to do was create some room in its lineup for a baby Africa Twin. One that should please all the dirt riders with its easier to swallow weight numbers but the same pedigree of Africa Twin. Now, we've made a video about this in June, and by the looks of Honda rumors actually being true, we can expect the CRF1100L to be confirmed this year as well. Honda pleasing people everywhere. So, opinion time. Which would be your steed of choice? The 850 or the 1100 Africa Twin? Let us know in the comments. Let's see what everyone actually prefers. The 1100 Africa Twin should be unveiled by Honda in the next couple of weeks, and we should get to sit on it in November at the EICMA show. Well, that's the show, everybody. If you've enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, and if you think you've learned something new, consider subscribing or becoming a Patreon to help us make more of these shows. Cheers, and I'll see you on the next one.